is what we're supposed to deal with, right? So, a lot of people will say, well, what's behind the pain? Is it about tissue, soft tissue? No. If you look at the soft tissue, here, it's not. Actually, you have to look into the bone, implant position, and soft tissue. Soft tissue is not just the only one reason for implant athletics. It's just one out of the three. And then, why athletics? Emergent profile, portion athletics, technician probably will do better about it. So, let's look at what athletic reconstruction do we consider nowadays. I'll just point out the essential elements. What should we consider? We should consider first bone, implant design. Why implant design related to the bone? Because we need certain implant design to help out the bone stability. So they all go together. I like to point out they affect each other. Alright? And implant position is very important. Soft tissue quantity and quality is very important too. And emergent profile and aesthetics. So it's a checklist. I use a checklist for my cases. You are very welcome to follow my checklist. Bone is about we need to look at buccolingual bone dimension, implant buccal bone width, and vertical bone height. Those that would affect the aesthetic results. Implant position is about three-dimensional way and angulation. Angulation is very important. A lot of people just miss that part about the angulation. Soft tissue, we're talking about volume and keratinized tissue, both of them. So let's look at the bone. As I said, bone is foundation. Bone is just like building up the high-rising skyscraper. We need a very solid ground, right? So bone is a solid ground. We need a very solid ground. It's the foundation for everything, okay? So bone is the top priority for implant dentistry. And peri-implant bone would undergo bone remodeling. Yes, that's correct. Even though we place implant, yes, we are so confident about placing implant. But you have to remember, our bone keeps remodeling physiologically and pathologically if it is not done right, right? So if you check the literature, there are a lot of articles show you the bone around the implant is a dynamic balance. It's a dynamic situation. It's not a stable bone. It's always could affected by either soft tissue, either bone, or environment, or bacteria. So it's a dynamic environment we have to consider. Peri-implant bone stability equals peri-implant soft tissue stability. Why? Because when you have a bone goes down, the soft tissue goes down with it. But then what to do? Either build up the bone or build up soft tissue, or build up both. Okay? Implant position. Implant position is a three-dimensional way. Back to Dr. Cruiser 2004, talk about three-dimensional implant placement. But something more important about angulation. We always miss that part. So apical coronal, in an old way, it's a platform mesh implant. The implant should be placed 2 to 3 millimeters away from the CJ, future CJ, or junior margin. But for platform switch conical connection, implant should be placed 3 to 4 millimeters away from CJ, or sometimes nowadays people want to place a little bit deeper, like 4.5 or even 5. But remember, don't place too deep, because if you place too deep, our physiological movement of the maxilla will compromise this problem. I'll just show you. Yeah, a lot of people say, as long as I place implant 3 to 4 millimeters below the future CJ, below the junior margin, it's okay. I'm telling you, it's true and it's not true. Because, see this implant placed 3 millimeters away from the CJ, right? Guess what? The buccal bone is very important. Now we have good soft tissue because we have good bone. But if we lost a millimeter of bone, guess what? Tissue goes down, goes apically. right? And if you lose more, even though implant in position, guess what? We have recession. So if you say implant position, no, actually, bone and soft tissue, that affects the result, right? So even though we place a 3, yes, that's 3, but then apparently that's different 3. You place 4, yes, 4, that's fine. It's good aesthetics, but guess what? The aesthetics, because we have this bone, we have this soft tissue. But if you lose the bone, lose the soft tissue, you cannot have a recession type of defect. So remember, implant position is just one factor. We need bone and soft tissue to work with. So implant level actually is a variant and should be controlled carefully. Sometimes we go 3, sometimes go 4, but then it has to be within that limit. Or some people may go a little bit deeper, like 4.5, but you know, as long as it can be controlled better for the bone and soft tissue, that's fine. The less crescent bone resorption, the deeper the implant can be placed. If the crescent bone is not stable, don't place implant that deep. That's the key. Alright? It's all about where the future soft tissue will be. Future. We place implant, we want this soft tissue in the future. Okay? Now, when you place it, the soft tissue may change. So we are looking at a future soft tissue level. Sometimes we have to reduce the bone. When we're always talking about regenerative bone, right? I'm telling you something differently. If we have too much bone, we have to remove it. So this young lady referred to me by orthodontics because she has the ortho treatment done, and apparently she needs the implant for her for the missing central. And then the problem is that if you look at it, the frenum located in the center of this missing central. And this something worse is right here. This is not the bone. This is that central. So now it's difficult. We have to correct the soft tissue. We have to correct the impacted central. We have to place implant in the right position. So guess what? I just took a coping CD and see, well, this is not bad. I mean, even though the impacted center is in the way. So what would you do? Would you do simultaneous or would you do stage approach? I would say, even though it looks very difficult, right? It's complicated, but it's not because we have enough bone. We have too much bone. So what I did, I extract the impacted central, even though it's a big hole right here. It's a big hole right here. But I have enough bone to accommodate my implant. So I didn't even hesitate to place the implant at the same time. Why? Because I know I wouldn't be able to go anything wrong with it. Why? Because see, we have good bone. The only thing is I need to control where I want my implant to be and where I want my future soft tissue and bone to be. It's very important, right? So when you think, well, Dr. Lee, you place implant too deep. It's all the way to the bone, but it's not. It's right in the correct position, as I mentioned. 3 to 4 millimeters, where? Away from the future CJ, right? What's future CJ? The future CJ is the adjacent central because I want those two centrals symmetrical. So the future CJ should be located identical to the adjacent CJ. Alright, so that's the key. Alright, so when you look at it, well, I place input. A lot of people find, hey, this is where you should stop. No, I have to place it deeper. Why? Because this is CJ, it should be right here. It shouldn't be here. If you place here, that's disaster. Because you'll never be symmetrical. You'll never be the way you like it. Okay? So I place the implant so deep. Yes, that's correct. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with that later on. And I grabbed it. I even say, wait, Dr. Lee, Aren't you just, you just say you have too much bone, but then why do you put more bone graft in? Yes, I have too much bone coronally, but then I still need the bone on the buccal. Why? Remember, buccal bone support the soft tissue. The wider the buccal bone, we have more chance to get aesthetic. So I want to create more bone for this young lady. I shoot it up. Oh, sorry, this is supposed to be a video. Oh, it's not going. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it doesn't work. Maybe. That's fine. Alright, I place the implant. Okay, this is before, after, if we look at it, right? So, what should I do? I place the implant, I grab the bone, I regenerate the bone. I have too much bone, as I mentioned. And that is even more than what I started beforehand, right? It was not that thick. It was now so wide. So what should I do? I reduce it. Okay? So I open it up, and I chisel it out, expose my implant, and I start removing the bone. I remove the bone right here. So remove here. Oh, it's very difficult to see it because the photo. If you look at video, I cut it, to where my soft tissue would be supported. So I remove it, and guess what? Now we have the last issue. The frenum is in the way, right? Frenum in the center, right? So what we do? I change the position for the frenum. Can we do it? Yes, of course. What I do is just we have the apically position flap. Of course, we can have a lateral position. So I position the frenum from this way, from the center of the central incisor toward between central incisor. By what? By split thickness flap, right? So what I did partial thickness flap, and then laterally move the frenum and tissue to the new position, suture it up. This is very important that we should do. Why? Because a lot of people say, yeah, frenum, you can just cut it away. No. I want this patient to have her own frenum. Alright? So cut it away is not a problem, but then I want to have the new frenum for her. So this is the technique. And guess what is the result? See the frenum? It's right here. It's no more in the center of the central, right? So this is before and this is after. So for this young lady, we actually we put everything back for her. And that's during the pandemic time. And we kind of rescheduled 3 times, but then at the end, we got a very good result. Alright, so we have perfect result for her. And it's more than her expectation. She didn't know that she would have this result again. So buccolingual direction is important. All you need to know is that you need to place the implant